Welcome to the GLOBIS Stories podcast. I'm your host, Kingsley Noden, joined by Niroshan John, graduate of the 2023 GLOBIS batch. Welcome to the podcast, John.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
I guess getting started,
Yep.
what originally brought you to GLOBIS and what brought you to Japan?
Well, I came to Japan as a college student when I was 19.
Nice.
So what happened was I'm originally from Sri Lanka, so I had a very coincidental. I met somebody coincidentally, and who introduced me to a Japanese university, and they were in the process of recruiting foreign students, and I applied for it and I got it, and I just decided to come to Japan. So 4 years in university, and then 10 years I was a teacher in Japan. I was teaching as in an elementary school, in an international and private elementary school. I was just shuffling two jobs.
Is that what you went to school for? Or?
Not in particularly, but my major was really theology.
Oh,
So
wow.
Christian theology. It's kind of rare, but that's what I did for 4 years. And then during that time, it was, I think, 2005, it was very popular. The English teaching job was popular.
Yeah.
So, and I think there was a market for it, a larger market for it than what it is now. So I was able to get into a school and I started teaching. And I was always interested in teaching kids, working with children. So I was doing something I liked to do.
You started teaching, and then you enjoyed that. Then what made you decide to go to further your education?
Well, when I was teaching, I really wanted to move forward in the field of education. So I did do a postgraduate certificate with an online course with the University of London on educational leadership and management. I just did that over the period of 2 years, and then I decided to just keep teaching. But then I met somebody who was who introduced me to the manufacturing industry in Japan, and I had a very interesting conversation and what I could do in the industrial sector of Japan, because manufacturing is a major sector in Japan. So
That's a pretty big jump.
it was a pretty big jump. So they wanted to expand globally, and also they wanted to be dealers of some foreign products. So they needed me as to just communicate with. It was Italy, and then my job really at that time. It included some teaching because I had to teach the Japanese market about this new product.
Right.
So it linked up with a lot of my teaching experience as a teacher.
You clearly value education. Is
Yep.
that why you decided to go through further education in this new arena?
Yes. So, well, it was what I was. The company that I joined was a SME, a Japanese SME. So I realized the experience that I gained from an SME is not enough for me to grow in the corporate world. So I was looking for further education, and I was looking to do an MBA, and I found GLOBIS. So that's how I got here.
Okay. And what about GLOBIS stood out to you?
Well, one thing was the practicality of GLOBIS. I joined as a part-time student, and I had to shuffle my work and family life, and then studies. So just the practicality of GLOBIS, of classes on Saturdays or Sundays, and or after 7 or at 7 on weekdays. It was very practical for me, something that I could do, and probably the small quantities of work which builds up over the period of 2 years. So that's something that attracted me. And another thing that attracted me, I mentioned that my first degree was in theology, so I do have some sort of feeling of, a connection to faith or religion. So, the idea of kokorozashi really attracted me to GLOBIS, where sometimes in a corporate world, you lose that idea of a mission or your life mission. So just the idea of kokorozashi was able to bring back this original kind of mission, life mission that I really wanted to. I wanted to find out what my life mission is in a corporate world. So that was something that attracted me to GLOBIS as well.
Oh, that's great to hear. That's really what boils down to the philosophy of our university program. So, like, how was that journey of finding your kokorozashi, your personal mission, through the GLOBIS education?
Well, I wouldn't say that I've found my kokorozashi,
Right.
but I would say that the guidance or the learning in GLOBIS has helped me to look for a kokorozashi. So even now in my, as I mentioned earlier, I work for an SME. So it's sometimes very hard to have this what the company stands for, the why the company exists. Especially in an SME, it's like what we produce.
Right.
So I've been able to like work with my company, work with my CEO to develop why a company exists. So I think this goes back to kokorozashi and also how I would say I would put in the idea of monozukuri also. So it's interesting just having conversations of just coming to why the company exists. So I'm finding it very hard to link it to how I would personally take it forward as a kokorozashi. But this aspect of kokorozashi has helped me to work with the company to develop a why we exist.
So can you mentioned incorporating kokorozashi in your talks with management about why the company exists. Can you take me through what the process was of like bringing that up to management and trying to help incorporate that into the company's ethos?
Well, we had a change in, we had a new CEO coming in, and he was from Honda. So it was interesting having conversations with him of how, like major companies in Japan, you have this kokorozashi, you have this why you exist. Like he really wanted to bring that into the this company, and it's not like what we make, but what solutions we provide. That's one thing, but then what value do we give to our customers?
Right.
So I think something that helped bring this idea of why we exist was the conversations that I had with him. So just having those conversations helped us.
And I think that's something that really differentiates a good company from a great company is that that philosophy of thought and those ethos. You were originally working in English education, and then you switched to this managerial role in a Japanese organization. Do you use Japanese language in your day-to-day, or is it mostly English?
It's mostly Japanese.
Okay.
So company lingua franca is Japanese. And
How's adapting to that?
Well, I'm fine with Japanese because I think I've been in Japan for a long time, for about 25 years. So Japanese comes very naturally to me. So maybe I speak better Japanese than English while working. So
really?
because I communicate always in Japanese, so I'm much more comfortable. For example, industrial, those technical terms and all, I just know the Japanese, not the English.
Wow. So what was it? Did you just learn Japanese over time through osmosis, or were you studying it like with intentionality, or?
I did not study it with intentionality. It was through osmosis and just having a a lot of Japanese friends and just spending time with them. And I had a lot of, I think I was blessed with a lot of interactions with the Japanese community. For example, for 8 years, I played rugby for a Japanese team. So
wow.
this really helped me build my Japanese ability because it was just a small team. We did not have translators or anything like that. So, I think just experiences like that, just having those connections with the Japanese community, helped build my Japanese ability.
Right. So the reason I ask is because a lot of people who are interested in coming to Japan and working find that to be a big hurdle, and I think for a lot of people that can be very intimidating. Of the idea of like sitting down and having to study diligently every day, but you can learn through fun activities like playing rugby with your friends and things like that.
Exactly. That's right. I mean, just having those conversations with Japanese, you don't really have to have this stigma that Japanese is difficult to learn. I feel it comes from your heart of like, do you want to communicate? And sometimes you need to have the language to communicate. So I think it starts from the heart of like wanting to communicate. And I think those interactions with the Japanese community helps you learn the language. So that's how I learned my Japanese.
Great. And then going back to business, as it were, you're in a management position now. How has going to management school affected your management style?
I think, well, talking about GLOBIS, we talk about frameworks. And I think GLOBIS has given me frameworks to like put my thinking, just to put my thinking into frameworks and to be able to communicate to my subordinates. Frameworks are very helpful. So something I gained from management school is this idea of different frameworks. And from GLOBIS, I would say just not just being a manager, but GLOBIS focuses on being a leader. So I always question myself on, am I a good leader, not just being a manager? So I think that's something which I was able to gain from GLOBIS and not from any other management school.
And what quality makes a good leader in your estimation?
I would say one thing is the ability to communicate. I mean, just being able to communicate to the subordinates, not just order them around, but just to communicate and to be able to make them understand the company's why the company exists, and like where motivate them instead of just force them to work or do something to achieve something.
And like, do you have any advice as to how someone could do that?
I don't think I've perfected the.
Well, nobody is.
Well, in a Japanese working environment, I mean, it's very difficult because Japanese, I mean, they value that, or they respect that you're a manager, and they don't openly communicate with you. And just spending time with them, explaining your ideas, or just going out drinking with them, and just spending time with them helps kind of break the ice that usually Japanese feel when you talk about your manager or that subordinate manager relationship. So I would say communication is really key.
Yeah.
And just spending time with them and helping them to see what you see.
It's just like kind of fostering some kind of interpersonal relationship and not sticking to the like rigid, like, this is my role, this is your role, stay there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's right.
Yeah, that's great. As a person from outside of Japan who works closely in Japan, you mentioned hierarchy before, but are there any other like common communication pitfalls that you've encountered, and how have you solved them?
Well, one thing is the insider-outsider mentality, because I look foreigner. I look foreign, so people consider me as an outsider. So that's also a barrier that I need to work through. So I need to prove to them I am an insider as well, to sometimes be able to effectively do business or communicate with them. So I just have stories about myself in Japan, having experiences as a normal Japanese, which I throw out to them so that they are able to communicate with me on the same level. Okay, this guy has the same experience, so I would consider him as an insider. So I would start communicate with him. So it's just a few of those things that I have in my.
Well, I mean, if it's not too much, if you don't want to let us peek behind the curtain, you don't have to. But can I hear one of those stories?
One of those experiences would be, well, playing rugby is one thing. I mean, right now, from 2019, Japan, rugby is a popular sport in Japan, or gaining popularity in Japan.
Yeah, since the Rugby World Cup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just having conversations about my experience as playing rugby in Japan, like so many years ago, and now how popular rugby is getting. That's a connection that I'm able to form with them. And another story that I always take with me is climbing Mount Fuji. So I've been up Mount Fuji 3 times.
Oh wow! That's
so this is something that really helps break the ice with Japanese.
Yeah.
Like when they realize, oh, you've climbed Mount Fuji, how is it? And, so it builds conversation.
Yeah. How is it, by the way?
How is it?
Yeah.
Well, I was very young. I was about 24 when I climbed Mount Fuji, and for some reason I realized my friends and we decided to run up Mount Fuji. So from the 5th station to the peak, it took us about 3 hours.
Whoa.
Because we just ran up there.
That's an incredible stamina.
But we weren't ready for the rain and how cold it was, because it was during summer and we didn't expect the peak to be so cold.
Right.
So we arrived at the peak too early and it was too cold and we did not have the proper gear. So, until sunrise, it was pretty.
Yeah. Pretty frigid.
Yes.
That's an incredible story. I mean, like, it is one of those things where you go in summer and you're like, it's 100 degrees.
Exactly.
And then you run up to the top and you're like, oh, right.
Yeah.
It's the highest place in the entire country. But wrapping up, we ask all of our guests this one question. If you had any advice for your past self, and it can be from any time period, what would it be?
Retrospectively, it's very, easy to give advice to your past self. But I would tell myself to work harder because sometimes I have not been very committed to what I was doing. Studies is one thing, and I would say sometimes, maybe retrospectively looking at my 2 years at GLOBIS, I might have been able to do things better if I was more committed to what I was doing. So I would say, be more committed to what you're doing. So that's something I would give to my past self.
I think that's great advice for everybody. It's always good to give it your all.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for joining us, John. And thank you all for watching. And if you can, please like, comment, and subscribe. Follow, give us a review on whatever platform you're listening on. And see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.